Hi everyone, I'm Dave Giancola, joined again by Mike Trossel for another episode of The Road to Stardom. Pebble Beach is known for being the site of some of the biggest moments in U.S. Open history, but in 2018, it was the amateurs' turn to write their names into the record books on the Monterey Peninsula.
Well, enter 20-year-old Viktor Hovland of Norway, who is just beginning to make a name for himself as an Oklahoma State Cowboy. With his coach Alan Bratton on the bag, Hovland's confidence grew as he advanced through the U.S. Amateur Match Play draw, peeling off commanding 7 and 6 victories in both the round of 16 and the quarterfinals.
Well, his performance in the championship match against Devin Bling of UCLA was almost equally impressive. Here are some of the big moments from Viktor Hovland's run to the 2018 U.S. Amateur title.
In this match play, Viktor Hovland here at the second for birdie. This normally a par 5 on the PGA Tour. At par 4 this week, still walks away with a 3. Just a moment ago at the fourth, Hovland with his second. Two up to this point. He would go on to win this fourth hole and move to 3 up after a huge victory a day ago. Hovland with his second.
Fabulous shot.
Now at the fifth, Austin Squires to have the hole.
That's a big hole to try to dig yourself out of. 4 down through 5.
Squires 4.
Unfortunately, you can't call a
Squires is
timeout
4
in
up.
golf. He'd love one right about now.
Towards the middle of the fairway, then Mike Davis from the USGA moved the fairway over to the right, so the ocean would come into play. I think it's a good change. It's an intimidating tee shot.
I'm waiting for somebody to make a change that makes a course easier.
Squires
Just one
6,
time.
Hovland 5.
Just one
Hovland is
time.
5 up.
Now Hovland on the tee here at 7.
That's a nice golf swing. Reminds me a little bit of Charlie Hoffman, who's been on a tear.
Almost a sink zing.
Here at the 7th to have the hole after that beautiful approach from Hovland.
One thing about this Squires fellas, he's got no quit in him. He's in deep trouble now. You got to almost feel like I would look at my opponent and think, well, now he's set up for the biggest choke. And
go to the 8th. Hovland has this for birdie.
Well, Hovland shockingly birdied this hole yesterday. Seems like he's birdied every hole. Another one. 7 up against Austin Squires after 8. This guy is unstoppable.
Virtual must make at this point. And that one won't go. And now 7 straight holes won, the longest streak all week long. Hovland, he's just out of his mind right now.
Incredible, Shannon. Not only that, since the 13th hole in the round of 32, he hasn't lost a hole in 24 holes, and in those 24 holes, he's won 15 of them, and he's 7 under par. What a stretch.
it's pretty nice. There's just no stopping this guy right now. I was thinking if this goes in, I don't know what you're going to do if you're Austin Squires. There you go.
Well, that's the best of the day by far. It's not done yet. Is this guy any good?
And he is 7 up with 7 holes to play after a round of 16 victories, 7 and 6.
5 under on the round today. on it. Just the best shot we've seen on this hole. Best shot we've seen on the 11th hole. He's got everything married so well right now. Well, this goes darting by. Impossible from that thick stuff. Good touch there. And to do it, right?
7 and 6 for the second straight match. That ties the record since the format changed in 1934 for the largest margin of victory in a USAM quarterfinal. Last player to do that was Ben Curtis back in 1999 right here at Pebble Beach.
Viktor Hovland at the second hole, his 4th shot. The match was all square. Chips it in there close. Cole Hammer had driven the ball out of bounds off the tee. This to half the hole. He misses, makes bogey. He goes 1 down. And now at number 3, here is Hovland. Second shot, 1 up at the moment. How good is that? From the bunker, hits it tight. Hammer missed his putt.
Always felt like the 4th green was one of the most difficult.
Now here at 5, it's Viktor Hovland on the tee.
187 to the hole, 179 to the front. That's the yardage he's working on, 179.
Shot.
Strong from Hovland. Here's the bio on Viktor Hovland from Oslo, Norway. He is the highest ranked player left in the field. Attends Oklahoma State. We talked about his dominance. 4 match play matches. He's trailed for 1 hole over those 4 matches.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And he bogeyed the second, but won the hole. It's his first bogey since the round of 16, and that is a heck of a run. As I said, he's 12 under in the match play portion of this championship. And here's the most confident player remaining. He's got a little hole to dig himself out of. Mentally, you want to feel like your opponent will give you a hole or two. The way Hovland's been playing, that might not be the case. Follows him right up. Hovland stuffs it in there on this difficult 5th hole. It's playing quite a bit shorter today than it has all week at only 187 yards, but it's still pretty daunting.
Just to keep a 2-up lead.
And there's no mystery in the importance of this putt and the finality of it. In, you tie. Miss, you lose the hole. And a power lift there. He hit that a bit hard. Maybe didn't play quite enough break. And
We're at 6.
this is a really important tee shot for Cole Hammer to put in play. Hit a big swinging hook at the second, and he released that like a champ.
Paul, it is cooler out here than it's been all week long. The marine layer is moving right in. We haven't seen this type of atmosphere here this week yet. Ball will not go as far.
Fortunately, it doesn't look like that at ground level. The fog came in on a different point in the peninsula earlier in the week, and you couldn't see 120 yards.
Lexus Tracer for Viktor Hovland.
Great ball.
Well, that is just blasted down that left side, and fabulous.
A little power in that swing.
A little power. He's got a lot of power. It's not neither one of these guys have the most picturesque, fluid or languid swings, but they are really functional. They both know how to play this great game.
Probably fine.
Yeah. You know, Curtis, you're right about that. He's only 18 years old. His face has never seen a Gillette razor, I guarantee you that. And he is going to get bigger and stronger. But, you know, I think the most important thing is to have security in the style of game you play and who you are. And I think he brings a lot of self-belief and confidence in here for various reasons. He's won a lot of tournaments.
Well, I couldn't agree more. He's very, very polished for a young man. So mature. They come out. They grow up so quickly in this game these days.
Well, the tour has become a bit of a bomber's paradise, and it used to be, Curtis, back in our day, that the guys that hit it the farthest were the further down the money list, and that has completely changed. Now all the bombers are the guys that are on top of the money list. So Viktor Hovland seems to pound it, but Cole Hammer, he's more Jordan Spieth-like.
Well, this is a great example right here. He's 30 yards closer to this par 5, able to get it there with his iron. Only 212 to the hole. And in match play, it wears on you. You're giving up 30 yards most every hole.
That just means that Cole's got to hit his wedges better than anybody else, and he does.
He's got his head coach Alan Bratton on his bag this week, head coach at Oklahoma State. He just won the national championship, and Hovland's made him proud all week.
That's a 5-iron.
Oh, go hard. Get left, ball.
And able to find the front of the green. Hovland defeated teammate Hayden Wood in the round of 64 and fellow Norwegian. This is Cole Hammer for birdie.
Quite a bit shorter than the 5th, and he goes with that claw grip with that right hand. Players are doing that now. It used to be that you had the yips to do something like that. Boy, that is a beauty right there. He is on a roll.
Paul, it's a big putt there, especially when you're 2 down.
Yeah, I agree, Curtis. And
I'm sorry, 1 down.
Well, that's all right. He's put it on Hovland here to try to answer. And these are big momentum putts at this point in the match. And it is more of a sprint. You know, Tiger talks about match play like it's a boat race, like it's a sprint. And it is a sprint. But all in all, this is a long week.
Yeah, this is a typical match play moment right here. Hovland had the advantage. Now he's got a sizable putt just to have the hole. Very methodical player. Viktor is.
He's kind of linear on these shorter putts. You know, you can play this game kind of linear or non-linear. The linear guy uses his lines. He's got lines on his putter. He's got a line on his ball. He's going to go ahead and just adjust that line a little bit. I don't know, Curtis, I know you didn't really putt that way. I did on shorter putts. I used my line, and I never had a line on my putter blade, but I wanted that line on the anything inside 8 to 10 feet. I wanted that line directly on my start line.
You know, I couldn't line up the line perfectly all the time. I couldn't see it. Big swing there.
Well, it is, and that's 2 big lip outs in a row.
See from the line, this thing should break just a hair to the right. Might be on the left edge, just outside.
Nice.
Yep, gets that one to fall after that little miss on the last. Goes back to 1 up.
They'll head to the 8th. Tiger Woods mentioned of the 8th. It's the first real wake-up call to Pebble Beach.
See it just left of that little rock. Driving iron. Ball didn't run out quite as far. You might be lucky to be able to see the flagstick with the fog as thick as this is.
I agree with that comment, Brad. This tee shot, they can't see the top of the fairway here. Thank goodness for that rock. But I'm interested to see how much they can see on the second shot.
Now Hammer with hybrid.
That's his 18-degree hybrid.
Yeah, Curtis, he's got a little bit more penetrating ball flight. It seems like should be able to get that ball to roll down there closer to that cliff's edge.
Both players have played this 8th hole even par this week in match play. Hovland and Hammer. And will be advantage Cole Hammer after that tee shot.
That's a 6-iron.
Right at it. Be good. Good shot, Victor.
I watched it hit on the range, and every shot on the range looked just like that tracer. It's kind of a slunk. Kind of looked like it's going to be a fade, and then it draws, or it draws, and it's fading.
Brad, I can't see down there.
That ball hit onto the green, Curtis, and kind of rolled back right onto the front fringe. It's a little bit unlucky there, but good shot. Hard to get this putt to the hole. Well short there. Even though Hammer's putt's a little bit more downhill, I think he's got a much easier chance for a birdie here. Boy, that looked good for a really, really long time.
Good save there, so Cole Hammer will have this to have the hole.
See that claw grip, he switched to that at the beginning of the year. Really made a difference in his putting.
Through here on horseback.
It's actually lightening up just a bit here. Fog is not an issue.
You got to hit either kind of a standard chip shot and get a couple hops through the tall grass and hope you get lucky, or you've got to play a bit of a trick, and it looks like he's going for the full flop.
Paul, who's the best at that in the game now?
I always thought Mickelson was the best at that, but Jordan Spieth.
Good answer.
Giving
I
him a little
agree
trouble.
with you.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody hit shots around the green like Mickelson.
Hovland for par. And that will, in essence, square this match.
Down. Stop. Okay, it hit soft.
Oh, it did hit soft. Having the ability to judge those lies is key the older you get.
Lucky.
Oh boy. That's 2 birdies we've seen from that left rough. Both players that hit driver off the 10th tee won the hole.
Hammer 4, Hovland 3. Hovland 1 up.
Like we said, there's so much slope on this green. Curtis mentioned it before. This green had the easiest hole location, and this is the least amount of slope on the green. You see that still broke a full cup from only about 5 feet away, and now Hammer, chance to even the match.
This is also the smallest green on the golf course.
Curtis, you never felt comfortable hitting even a little wedge into this green.
Well, I never hit a little wedge into this green.
That's really
You know, in
funny.
the day, we were always back there hitting 8 and 9 irons into this hole, so it was a longer shot, tougher shot. Not much movement here at all.
Only 3 halved holes in this match today through 11 holes, and I'll tell you what, Hovland's won the last 2 matches after 12 holes.
Hammer
He's
3, Hovland
hasn't
4.
seen 13
Match all
through 18
square.
at all. Well, that was perfect. You saw the line of the ball going just end over end there, and now puts the pressure right back on Cole Hammer.
There is the coach on the bag. You mentioned it earlier, Brad.
Yep.
On the bag for Peter Uihlein when he won the U.S. Amateur.
You know, he coached a lot of great players. Ricky Fowler, the biggest name, but Morgan Hoffman and many others.
Brad, I think when you get the talent that he gets there every year, you just want to stay out of their way, don't you?
I'll tell you what, it's more about what you don't say a lot of times.
For this for birdie to have the hole, this would be the 19th birdie in these semifinals between these four players already today.
Well, that was Hovland's fourth. This will be Hammer's fourth.
Three twos on the 12th. John Fields has got to be loving that.
Match all square.
More mature, physically bigger, he'll drive it quite a bit farther. He may pick up 25 yards in his college years.
It's hard to believe as Viktor Hovland stands here at 13. It's the first time in 3 matches his match has gotten to this tee. Last 2 have ended at 12. So here he is, center cut.
And the fans apart.
Second shot here for Hovland at 13. Just perfect.
Is this guy any good?
Viktor Hovland now for birdie to win the hole.
Nice. Wow, that's a new portion of putting surface back there. That hole never used to be able to be cut back there, and that's the 11th birdie for these 4 players on just the back 9. Right where he wanted to leave it. He was seeking a specific yardage for his 3rd shot. Putting's different in match play versus stroke play. Go ask Ian Poulter about that. Look at this. Look at this. Relentless Viktor Hovland.
This for birdie to have the hole.
Good concentration for Hammer would have been to be thinking he's going to make this. I got to make mine no matter what. You don't care about the next putt. And this guy, he doesn't even miss the center of the hole. If there's anybody better at match play putting than Cole Hammer, I don't know who it is. You can go right into the pro ranks.
Now with Hammer in the bunker, Hovland with his 2nd at 15.
Yeah, big advantage for Viktor Hovland right here. Got for 4 in a row there, man.
Boy, Curtis, his ball starts off like it's going to draw, and then it just kind of fades at the end. Little open stance.
4 in a row, man.
5 in the last 6 holes, too, Curtis. There's only 2 places you can make an error. Those bunkers to the right, coupled together. We're pulling it in the left rough, which is pretty thick, and another beautiful swing by Hovland. And Curtis, a growing gallery behind these players too.
Well, they're certainly getting their money's worth today.
See that ball? That looks like it's going to draw. Stops drawing, fades, and just comes right down. Lands right by the hole, stops softly in the perfect place to putt from. What a player.
Never a doubt. Viktor Hovland into the championship. The 20-year-old from Norway rolled through the NCAAs for Oklahoma State. Perfect in match play. He's been perfect this week. And he knocks out the red-hot Cole Hammer.
All right, here with Viktor Hovland. Victor, first you were watching that match finish up here with me. Would you have given Devin that putt?
I don't know. It was pretty close. I'd have to be there to see it.
Well, you've earned your way into the finals tomorrow, and you continue to impress. Your last two matches ended on the 12th hole, and I thought maybe today, you might be a little rusty coming in. No, you birdied 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 to close this thing out. Earlier this week, did you have any feeling that this level of play was coming, or do you like this golf course that much? What's going on?
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't going into the tournament with a lot of confidence. I'd kind of been hitting it poorly over the summer, and I'd shoot some good scores here and there, but it just didn't feel great. It was kind of scrappy. But going into this week and in the practice round, I kind of felt that I was clipping the iron shots a little better, and that gave me some confidence, because this course is all about placing the ball off the tee, and then you're going to have a lot of short irons. And I'd say that's the strength of my game. So yeah, I've gotten some confidence throughout this week, and I'd say the course fits me very well.
So as you've seen yourself hit some nice golf shots, your confidence has just grown.
Yeah.
How does strategy change tomorrow at all? 36 holes.
I think just preface more of the same stuff that I've done throughout these matches. In my opinion, I'd say I'm a pretty tiresome player to play in match play. I kind of just hit it pretty hit it pretty straight, just get it up by the green or on the green, and get a look every time. And I think over 36 holes, if I can do that, that's going to put a lot of strain on my opponent.
And with your win today, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you punched your ticket to come back here next year to Pebble for the U.S. Open, also to Augusta National for the Masters. What does that mean to you? And sharing this, again, with your college coach on your bag.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know yet. It's still just kind of all talk to me right now. It hasn't really
sunk in yet.
No. Yeah, I'm just trying to win tomorrow, and then after the tournament, I can kind of cherish that a little bit more than I'm doing right now. But having Coach Bratton on the bag is, it's been unreal experience so far.
Incredibly special to have him with you. Are you going to bring that black belt mentality tomorrow? I understand you're a black belt in Taekwondo.
Well, I'm going to try to beat my opponent with my clubs, not my fists, but we'll see.
Same deal. Yes, you said it before. You're a little intimidating in match play so far. You've really got it under control, Victor. We love watching you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Shane.
We'll look at some of the highlights from earlier today in this 36-hole match. And we pick up Viktor Hovland, who tried to drive the short par 4 fourth. He finds his drive in that ice plant. Here's his second shot. Hi, I'm good. I'm from Norway. I play at Oklahoma State. I think I'll just birdie this with a match that at that moment was all square. He would go on to make that putt. And why wouldn't you smile after that shot to go one up? Now here at the 10th, here's Devin Bling after bogeying 8 and 9 for par at 10. And that would sink him to 4 down. Now Viktor Hovland at 11, his second shot. The crow doesn't bother him. Nothing bothers this kid. He's 4 up at the moment. And out of that first cut of rough, gets it to stop just under the hole. Here's his putt at 11 for birdie to win the hole, to go 5 up. And now up ahead at 17, hit a bad bunker shot. This to have the hole, can't get it to go. Now 4 up through 17 holes is Viktor Hovland. Here he is at 18. He drove it in the hazard. He makes the putt to have the hole, finishing the morning 18 holes 4 up. Then everybody took a nice break for lunch, and then they go back to work. And here he is, 19th hole. The first hole here at Pebble Beach, out of the bunker. He's been a magician out of the sand to just a foot away and to get to 5 up. A moment ago here at the 21st hole, this at 3 for birdie to win the hole. They end up having that hole at number 3. The downhill par 4, and so now through 21 holes, Viktor Hovland is 5 up in our championship match presented by Rolex.
Not yet.
Curtis, it just might be, he's a little bit out of his comfort zone here. He's already had such great accomplishments this week. Got his head coach came in. Derek Freeman. Get it there. Get it there. That might be it. I like what you said, Curtis. You just kind of got to pluck away.
Second birdie of his day. Needed it, and he got it. And this is the reaction we've seen from Bling before this morning's final match.
And Shane, on the first tee this morning, he got a much louder applause than Hovland did. His 5 of his teammates drove up from LA. A couple other friends were here, and I saw a lot of UCLA caps and shirts out here.
Brad, you just made just a tremendous point there. I think you get to the finals of the U.S. Amateur and you haven't really accomplished anything until you win the championship. But it's easy to kind of let your guard down a little bit and realize, well, I'm in the Masters, I'm back in this tournament, I'm doing this, doing that, and you can't think like that. And sometimes it's hard not to, though.
You know, yeah, Curtis, he said specifically that when he saw the trophy, the Havermeyer trophy, that big cold trophy, they had it just to the right, the right tee marker, about 1.5 feet in front of it. He was just staring at it.
Yeah, don't do that to me. I'm nervous enough.
Seriously.
This to have the hole.
Yeah, and he hit a big pull hook with his 2-iron off that first tee shot, and that's always unsettling.
Devin needs to stick this thing tight.
It's a real good chance for him to stuff it in there.
From right at 50 yards to the flagstick.
That's no good. That's getting better. It's getting a lot better. Pretty good. It's actually very good.
Pretty good first bounce.
Yeah, I was surprised that from that distance, you usually can get a lot of spin on that.
You know, we're talking about virtual games. Devin hadn't seen Pebble Beach in person prior to this week, so he played Tiger Woods PGA Tour on PlayStation to get a feel for the layout.
Like a NASCAR driver jumping in that simulator. They actually flinch when they're going into the wall. It's so real. I don't know about that golf simulator. I've never played it, but it must be pretty good. Now, Hovland, who's hit a few poor bunker shots, a nice one back there on 4, but it didn't have that great sound. He likes to play like a little fat and run, chunk and run, but I don't think he can do that here, Curtis. It looks to me like he's got to act like he's angry at the sand and just slap it with the bottom of that club.
Well, you're right, and it's going to be helped by the ball being on a pretty severe upslope, so the ball should come straight up in the air. Doesn't have a whole lot of green in which to work, but that should not be a problem.
Just listen for how this club hits the ground. So far, it's all been kind of soft and cushy. You don't hear any slap, and this being close in like this, I think he needs to spank this. How do you do? Beautiful shot. Two good bunker shots in a row. Curtis, he had 2 poor bunker shots in a row in the early round of this competition and was able to make about a 10-footer at the last hole to save par.
Well, in this second round, he's gotten it up and down 3 times already. First hole, the 4th hole, and now here. So he's got a feel for the sand, it looks like.
Well, it's hard for Bling to apply pressure when his opponent keeps making birdies. Now all the pressure's on Devin Bling. This is, you just feel like it's a must putt for Bling here.
Paul, I think at this point in time, everything is a must shot and putt for him.
Yeah, it's desperation time.
Yes.
If ever there was a time to panic, it'd be right about now. And hopefully he can collect himself and knock this in. If not, he'll be 6 down with 12 holes to play.
Pretty straight in here.
Yeah. That was important.
So Bling took it up the left side into that rough, ends up with birdie, and now it's Viktor Hovland who drove it 329 yards down the center of the fairway. Second shot into the bunker, and this to have the hole.
I was pretty much giving him this putt, but it did roll off that extra few inches. I would never concede this if I was Devin Bling. Make him earn it, and he does. Another birdie.
Hole is halved with 4s. Hovland remains 5 up.
Cut a little bit.
Okay.
Now Viktor Hovland from the right, short rough, decent lie, but it could come out knuckling just a little bit. Ball well below his feet on the downslope.
That'll be really good.
The way he sets up and aims reminds me of the late Bruce Litsky, who's just passed recently. He aims right, comes back down over the top of that ball and smashes it.
Yeah. No, that was.
Well, we had a chance to catch up with Viktor Hovland and talk about exactly what he's experiencing now, and that is playing golf with a big lead.
To play kind of how I've been doing. I've been playing really good. Made a bunch of nice putts to just keep the momentum going, and it just makes it hard for my opponent to match it. So I just need to keep doing what I have been doing, and hopefully that'll bring me out on top.
Well, for Viktor, he is the 6th Oklahoma State player in the last 23 years to reach the U.S. Amateur Final. Talked about Peter Uihlein earlier. In 2010, the only one of those Cowboy players to prevail, but this is a terrific list of winners from Oklahoma State to win the U.S. Amateur Championship, and so far so good for Viktor Hovland of Norway.
When we were this age, Joe, I think we mostly worked on just technique, you know, the physical part of the game. How can I, you know, hit the sweet spot over and over again? But they've taken it to another level with this college age generation. You know, they've really started thinking about how to focus and concentrate and that sort of thing, and I feel these guys are much more qualified from the neck up nowadays than we ever were. You know, we still had the senior tour, or the senior players before the senior tour still playing the tour, and those were the guys that you learned from and how to be mentally tough. Now you can read it in a book. You got psychologists, and all these college golf coaches are helping these guys along the way mentally. The physical part, of course, with video and all that, it's got to be a little bit easier, Curtis.
You know, Paul, I do agree. They're very polished, much more polished than we were. But I think you still have to go out here, come out here and experience it and learn from your failures and just playing golf. I don't think you can read it out of a book. You have to learn from just being out here on the golf course. But, you know, the sports psychiatrist, the coaches, they do help. You know, if you had somebody telling you how good you were every single day of your life, you'd believe it eventually. And we didn't have any of that.
No, I think one of the advantages when you get that kind of coaching is that as you get older, you don't really need to go get a mental lesson. You just need a few mental reminders on how to think. I think that's important. But I just, you know, speaking for myself, early on in my career, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know how to breathe my way out of a pressure situation, but you learn that as you go, Curtis, through experience. And of course, this is a great game of feel.
Most underrated thing you can learn how to do is breathe, especially when the pressure gets on.
Yep.
We all tend to breathe too shallow.
In 4 counts real slow, out 4 counts real slow. That's a nice way to slow it all down. But these guys are all qualified now mentally at a much earlier age.
Devin has not birdied any hole past number 6 today. That's got to change, and it's got to change soon.
He's got a chance. He's got a real good chance.
It just changed. And some life from the Bruin here in the afternoon round.
This was a real unlikely birdie from up here. Down the hill, it's going to the right, and it's right towards the ocean, so it's blazingly fast. And that was tremendous feel for that putt. And he needs a few of those bombs to go in. And he got number 1 right here at the 9th.
Problem for Devin is when he's made birdie, so has Viktor. We'll see if that continues here at number 9.
Well, this is a much easier putt. Not much break to it. Down the hill ever so slightly. Shouldn't have to worry about speed. It'll get to the hole with no problem.
Devin Bling has mastered the Tiger Woods fist pump. Just, you don't want to get hit by it. I'll tell you that.
Trying to break his heart.
He was dangerously close to doing that, Joe. That another excellent putt from Hovland, and he's just got a little bit tighter. And it's just what Devin Bling needed to do. He needed to pull a rabbit out of his hat. There we go. Let's have a look at that fist pump. Glad my head isn't in the way of that sucker. Boom! Like Mike Tyson body blow.
So now 4 down is Devin Bling as they go to number 10.
Well, he's done that a few times where he's gotten underneath it, bounced it. Ball came out aggressively. That shot, I don't know. I'd like to get closer to the ball, open the face, and hit more off the toes, stand the shaft up a little bit. Very wristy swing here. So you can see the bottom. Yeah, you see how much it hit high in the face.
You know, Brad, you have to, get some experience. He's only 18 years old. You have to be able to evaluate that lie better and measure up to catch it on the part of the face you're anticipating.
Maybe choke down on that club a little bit, stand a little bit closer to it, narrower stance. Really didn't need to fly it a long way, just needed to hit it a specific distance and then let the green take over.
It'll be Hovland, it appears, down the hill for his birdie.
And now it looks like Curtis, 2 putts for Hovland can get them a win here.
Yeah, you certainly think he would just ease one down because once again he knows how fast it is.
And a win here, Hovland will be 5 up with 7 holes to play.
The targeted speed the USGA wants to have these greens on. Now this is on flat putts, 12 to 12.5, and that's fast. That's really fast. When you add a percentage of slope like the back of this green that could be 3-4%, that green speed can be up to 25 or 30 feet. Remember Ken Brown's piece from the U.S. Senior Open at Broadmoor, how far the ball would roll. Just incredible. This will be just a little tap.
And he smoked it.
Look how far that ball broke. major error there. Well, all he had to do is somehow get it above the hole. And you know, a great drill Dave Pells taught me years ago when you're practicing lag putting or trying to dive the ball in is trying to stop the ball short and above the hole, as close to the hole as you can. And then you'll see how far maximum break is. And right there, he had a chance to almost ice this match. And now a huge opening. He's laughing.
Bling from just on the fringe for his par.
Well, I think Bling all of a sudden realizes he could win this hole if he could get this somehow in. What do you call that zing? The Mongolian something or other?
A reversal, the Mongolian reversal. But he's got to make this putt first.
That's right.
He smoked it too. Look how fast that green is. Gotta be a good 5 or 6 feet by.
Hey, Curtis, we talked last night about the idea of players learning how to win. We've seen Hovland with a few errors as of late. He's only won one time outside of Norway. That was at the Valspar Collegiate. He was asked about it. He said, I'm trying to figure this out myself. And he said, it's frankly hard to win tournaments against the players of this pedigree, this day and age. He said, one bad round, one couple bad holes, and it'll change where you finish on the leaderboard. And right now he's understanding he's trying to win the biggest championship in amateur golf.
Well, it is hard. You have to somehow figure out how to separate yourself from the rest of the field. And by making fewer mistakes or going after a whole location that you feel like you're the only guy out there that has the guts to try, or make a few more putts. And but as we were talking earlier, you got to learn how to do that. You got to learn your body and how it reacts to pressure, and adjust from there.
Great point.
This doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't get up out of bed and learn how to know how to do this every day. It's a work in progress.
Chance to win the hole and move 5 up. That one lips out, and now Bling will have his putt for bogey.
And look at this lip out here. Sometimes we call that you got painted. The cups are painted here, so it's easier to see on television. Maybe does it get drier? I don't know. Hovland hasn't won a hole since the first hole this afternoon, and now this to have the hole for Bling. And Curtis, just to go a little bit farther, you know, Hovland's team, Oklahoma State, won the NCAA championships in 2018. It's a new format where they play stroke play and then they go into match play. So he has some good match play experience to win the national championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And he knows that, you know, to win a national championship on your team, good putt there. Oh, I'm sorry, he did. But to win the championship, there's a lot of pride and learning experience there.
Just a beautiful looking trace up that right side. And using the contour. I'll tell you what, not too often you happen with 35, 40 feet for birdie. That's a good start.
Brad, I thought this was one of the tougher shots you would ever play in the day when you were hitting 3 and 4 irons in here, and the green being hard. You're almost forced to go up the right side of this hole.
And Curtis, these greens are starting to get that sound, that U.S. Open sound when the ball is landing.
I mean, that sound none of us like.
Exactly. Taking it a little more aggressive line, but he too hits a good shot, gets it inside. Hovland will get a little bit of read here. And the putts for birdie. Now here he is, Hovland for birdie on 12.
And from this angle, slightly down the hill, going back toward the Pacific, is very fast.
Oh, another putt low. Pretty good effort, though. Yeah, that's all he wanted. A good putt to go first there. Now the pressure was on Bling, where he's really got to start to make these putts. This match will be shaking hands in just a few holes.
Saw him make a bomb 3 holes ago. And the big fist pump. He needs it again here. Is to win the hole.
Well, you saw a close look at the paint colors in that putter that he's using. It's a Scotty Cameron putter that Paul Vizanko, who does all the filming of all the great tour players, was a UCLA grad, and he painted the colors of the UCLA colors. And one of the greatest treats Devin Bling's ever had is to get that putter. Hit this one firmly again. He got a great look from Hovland's line, and maybe he's got this mentality that I got to make it or I'm going to lose, and got very aggressive there. Whipped it by. Looks like Hovland's going to have to move his mark.
I don't know what he was thinking there, Brad. He missed it low and he hit it way too hard, and you know, you just got to continue to trust your field. One of the great strengths of the best players, especially Tiger Woods, Tiger more than anybody, that he would hit putts of that length or this length. It didn't matter. He always hit them the right speed putts he had to make. He didn't gun them. He didn't charge them by the hole. And I don't know if that's a gift or if that's mental or what that is, but boy.
Well, you've always said when players lose their speed control, Paul, it's all about nerves too.
Another miss from 10 or so feet, and he will concede. Now Hovland 6 up and dormy, and we talked to this young man earlier this week about what winning the NCAAs has done for his confidence.
There's only 2 holes on this golf course that he doesn't have a winning record on in the match play portion. In the 13th, this one right here is one of them. The bunkers in the right must be avoided.
Yeah, wow.
Exactly where you want to be. Up that left-hand side creates a tremendous angle into this green.
So in good position here at 13. And as Devin Bling will step into it, we'll give you another view with our Lexus Tracer.
He's got to put 3 good shots together here. Didn't love it, but it sure will work.
See Viktor Hovland still reaching for that area, low right back, but in cruise control.
He's got the right shape on it, but that just is a little farther away than he needed to be. Very unlikely birdie.
Good shot, though. Solid shot. Just
Get the trajectory you want.
Needs more at this moment. Now Hovland from 148. Same thing. Back up to the hill against a little breeze.
Oh yeah, that's going to be really good.
It's all all he needed, Curtis. Get that ball somewhere on the green.
Paul, I just love what Alan Bratton, the head coach, and his caddy just said to him before he hit that shot. He said, get the trajectory right. And Bratton's one of these coaches that doesn't mess with these guys' swings. All he does is talk about situation, which I know you and Curtis love, is hitting the shape of the shot, you know, practicing the targets and getting into, you know, the conditions that you're going to face when you're on the course, not on the driving range.
Yeah, no doubt. And trajectory is huge for distance control. It's like a javelin thrower. He launches that javelin at 17 or 23 degrees. I don't know what it is that's optimum, but if he's a degree or two high or low, it just won't go as far as if he hits the number right on the head. And I love that advice because that takes all technique out of it. It makes it more visual, Brad, instead of technical. And he's playing golf, not golf swing. And he's done it the entire championship.
And don't you wonder why you see players get into trouble and have to hit a shot out of the woods and curve the ball? You know, Bubba Watson's pitching wedge at the Masters on number 10 in the playoff hole hooked that pitching wedge 25 or 30 yards, maybe more. And then you get players out in the middle of the fairway with nothing to you know, stop them from starting it anywhere they want. They don't know what shots to hit. And guys miss greens with wedges. And I love that trajectory control, thinking about a shape, painting a picture.
I feel like if you put a tree, you know, 100 yards off the tee in front of Tiger Woods, right in the middle of the fairway, he'd shape it around there, one side or the other every time, and never miss a fairway. But when there's nothing there, as you just described, why is it tougher?
Well, I wouldn't limit it to just Tiger Woods. Curtis, did you do stuff like that? You hit it too straight.
Curtis hits it so straight, man. It just, God,
You guys
hated playing with Curtis.
Hovland will be first to play, and this putt will be to win the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Yeah, this is a real big moment. This is a life-changing moment for Viktor Hovland. If this goes the way it appears it will.
You know, he looks calm, cool, and collected. He's going through his routine. He's looking at his book, doing everything he needs to do, but he's got to be full of excitement at this point, unlike anything he's ever felt before in his life.
You know, during the British Amateur in June, Hovland found a love for match play. He said, I've realized when you're playing well that a bogey doesn't really affect you. You know your game is going to transcend through that because you're playing well. In this format, you can take a couple of risks because if you make double bogey and lose the hole, then you just try to birdie the next. And his mentality, whatever it's been, he's been described as a buzzsaw. He has been that, and he's doing it again here in the championship match.
It's a pretty slow putt back up the hill here and should have some swing from right to left. Beautiful putt.
The rest of that is good, so that means Devin Bling has got to knock this putt in to get this match to number 14.
This is not the easiest putt in the world here, Joe. This has got some big swing right to left, and it is really, really fast. And you know, if you want to make it, you have to start out by hitting it the right speed.
This will be for birdie to extend the match. On number 10, which is hole number 28 in this match, Hovland was 4 up, but just lost a hole at about 8 feet for par to keep from losing that hole and being only 3 up. He made the putt, 111 and 12, and now an opportunity to end this match here at the 31st hole.
Devin Bling has played really a nice championship. He's hit the ball beautifully. He's been clutch when he needed to be clutch. Even more so than right now. Got a chance.
Slides by, and with that, Viktor Hovland is the U.S. amateur champion.
Thank you. Well done, Ollie. Appreciate it. Thanks for your help.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good for you. Well done. Congratulations.
Great job. Way to go, dude. Thanks for your help. Thanks for letting me be a part. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
What a moment for the 20-year-old from Oslo, Norway. Here in the broadcast booth. Here's Viktor Hovland. Pleasure seeing you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, we've seen that smile all week, and you deserve it, man. You've got the game to back it up, and there were times where you made it look easy out there. I know it's not easy playing Pebble Beach with that on the line. So talk about it. I mean, you know, talk about it. You're going to get, as Holly talked to you about down on the golf course, a chance to play in the U.S. Open here at Pebble Beach. Take us around mentally what it was like going through these last few days here at Pebble.
Yeah, I was happy to make the match play, and obviously you got to play six matches to win, and just through every match I won, I just started believing a little bit more, and yeah, to finally sit here with the trophy, and yeah, just a lot of really good memories is unreal, and to be able to come back next year for the US Open is going to be really special.
It's after midnight in your homeland. Is your phone blowing up? Were people at home aware of what was going on here on the Monterey Peninsula?
I haven't really checked my phone yet. But,
come on. How old are you? You should be out there with your phone. You're 20 years old, for God's sake. You walk around without checking your phone? I guarantee you're going to be loaded down with text when you get back to that phone.
We'll see. I hope at least some guys followed. So yeah, but
Viktor, I think you had two big turning points. Number one, you came in here not feeling all that really good about your game and the way you were playing. At some point, there was a turning point for you, where something must have clicked. And during the matches, you know, you said earlier 18 was a big, you know, help for you, but I think maybe number 4 probably had a little, it's probably pretty high up there as well. But let's start with the first question, really. Well, actually, let's go to the 4th hole. You know, they call that ice plant because you can slide all the way down into that.
Go big or go home, I thought.
What was that all about when you got down in there?
Well, it was hard to get down there. But I saw I had an exceptional lie, and I just had to go for it. And it couldn't have worked out any better.
Well, you know, you got to have great hands and great touch to be able to pull that off. But I'm curious, you know, when you go into a golf tournament as important as this one is, and you know you're not playing all that well, at what point did something flip? You said during one of the practice rounds. Do you know? Can you tell us what it was?
Well, kind of to get into a little more detail. Back home, I've been struggling just getting really steep on my iron shots, and been taking big divots and not really hitting the center of the face. And I noticed out here, since it's a lot firmer, I wasn't taking as big of divots, and I was just catching them more in the center. So I just, from there, it felt really good going forward. And I think also in this tournament, you just gotta. I'm a very perfectionist, and I like to hit perfect shots. And if I don't, I'm going to be mad. But in a tournament like this, you just got to see where you want to go and not make a big fuss out of it.
Where do you think all this self-belief came from? The confidence comes from hitting a few good shots, but there's a self-belief in there somewhere. Where do you think that came from?
I mean, it's just a lot of practice, and just visualizing the good shots and knowing that I've hit a bunch of those before. Just made me realize that, okay, I can do this every time I hit a golf shot.
Yeah, self-belief seems to always come first, but there's no shortcut to success. I mean, you can't hope for it, you can't wish for it. You have to prepare and work hard, and the rumor has it you're a pretty hard worker.
This has got to give you an enormous amount of confidence as you go back to Oklahoma State with this, I assume, in your dorm room or wherever you live back at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, we'll think about that later, where I should place it. No, obviously I want to play professional golf, and I want to be successful, and this is obviously a really, really cool stepping stone. And I have a lot of doubts. I doubt myself all the time, and this is a good thing to have behind me, to know that, okay, I am capable of doing stuff like this, and yeah, just hope I can continue getting better all the time.
Well, welcome to the world of golf and the doubts. You know, Nicklaus even said that every day was different for him, and he felt like he would have to just piece it together if one aspect wasn't working. He had several thoughts, you know, that were keys for him, and it's just the way it is. And you know, you slept on you know, a lot of kind of, who am I going to play tomorrow and what's he going to be like, and you know, that one night's sleep can sabotage a guy. I'm curious how you felt this morning. It was a little cooler out. Just curious how you felt this morning after another night's sleep.
Yeah, I felt pretty good. The last, I'd say, 4 matches or 3 matches, I felt really calm. Even though there's a tremendous pressure playing in this tournament and knowing what's on stake, I was very calm. Even today, I think I was almost the calmest throughout the week today. So yeah, I was just really comfortable.
It seemed like you stayed in the moment all day. You never got ahead of yourself, and Devin really didn't. He really didn't get that like scary close on the way back, which was what he needed to do. He made the nice putt on 9, and then he got you again on 10. Was there any, you know? And then we noticed you were kind of rubbing your back a little bit, and stretching over there on 11. We caught that.
Yeah.
Just wondered if there was any moment there in your mind where you got out front and thought, wow, maybe this isn't going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt pretty good starting the second round. Obviously, I hit a bad shot on number 1, but I got that up and down. And from there, I just try to hit solid shots towards the fat side of the green, and always give myself a putt for either to tie or to win the hole, and kind of let him make the mistakes, trying to force something to happen. And yeah, on number 10, the second shot I hit there, I just felt something in my back that wasn't great, but I could still hit the ball fine. It just didn't feel great. And obviously, when he started to make some putts, I kind of thought that, okay, I better wrap this up pretty quick. You never know what's going to happen in the end. So, yeah. And yeah, it went dead center, and that felt really good after not really hitting a single good shot on that hole. So got away there.
So you're 4 up through 18. You end up winning 6 and 5. We're winding our time down here in the booth at Pebble Beach, and Viktor Hovland is nice enough to join us. A couple questions that I've been dying to ask you. First of all, your English is fantastic, and I read where you said you learned English from watching movies. So my question would be, what movie is best to learn English for any other Norwegian person to learn English?
I don't know. I recently watched Lincoln, that movie, and they have a lot of...
And you get history.
Exactly. And they have a lot of weird or complicated words used in that movie, and I'm pretty interested in that stuff, so that's a good one.
Well, so, and also you're a black belt in Taekwondo. Do you have to register your hands and feet and stuff? How did you become that? That takes great discipline.
My mom kind of just made me do it growing up.
Are you glad you did it? Are you glad you have that in your back pocket?
I didn't like it in the beginning, but I kind of stuck to it, and I got pretty good at it. And I did it for 7 years, so I think that helped me out a lot.
So if I made a move on you, like right here, like pop, would you just...
Oh, yeah, you'd be on the floor.
Out the window.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, so Cole Hammer described you as a buzzsaw. Here is our best attempt at Norwegian for buzzsaw. Cirkelsag?
That's not bad, yeah.
Is that good? Is that
Cirkelsag?
Cirkelsag?
Yeah, that's good.
Cirkelsag?
Yeah.
You're the first to win this this Havemeyer Trophy from your home country of Norway. That above maybe anything else, it has got to make you so proud to grow up playing golf, to get to this point as a 20-year-old young man. I mean, what an accomplishment here this week. You should feel great.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it hasn't sunk in yet. Yeah, this is what I practice every day for, and just to have finally done it's unreal.
Well, you're also good in the booth. Man, you can do it all. You're just saying that.
No.